Yo, what's good? Quick Crypto family and my Coin Factory family. We're back again with your Caspa crypto live stream. And the markets are looking a little bit worse for wear today. It is currently July 4th of July. Happy holidays, everybody. Bank holiday, nothing's really happening in regards to the market. Well, the markets are coming down right now. I wouldn't be too concerned. For being completely blunt, you know my stance on it anyways. I'm very optimistic for where crypto's going to be going in the coming weeks, months and years to follow. And we've got some very big macro update today regarding the incoming week. The title states new smart contracts coming to Caspa Casplex, an equally big week next week will be big. The reason why it says next week will be big is based off these two announcements from David Sachs and this report from Eleanor Terrett regarding the investment and sentiment behind Trump and his crypto policies and what's going to be passed very soon. We'll get into that first and foremost, but before we do, we'll also be looking at the market chart and we'll also look at a bit of Caspa news later on as well. Again, these sources here, I'm going to address a little bit of FUD, but making it very brief because nobody cares about the FUD, and I know no one doesn't, but it's worth covering for a short bit of it, and then get to the stuff as well. Also very insightful. Ultimately, I'll still class today as quite a very informative day, a good stream day. So you'll hopefully learn quite a lot today about what's happening in crypto and Caspa, and we'll see what comes off that as well. Welcome back everyone again though to the quick crypto and Coin Factory stream. Dimitar brother, welcome back again. First, as always, as indeed Future Crypto Elite is here. Welcome back, my man, doing very well. Crypto Gosu, damn. Second, welcome back, my man, doing very well today. Shyleash, bro, welcome back. Yo to you too. Fabian, what's up, my man? And Mr. Miles, first. I'm so good at this. You are the best ever in the industry. What's up, Cryptoni, bro? I was first among us. Well, everybody's coming first now. I guess you're all first in my eyes. Welcome back again, my man. Falca, what's up, brother? Happy Freedom Day, indeed. I know you probably don't celebrate it. I don't, but because I'm a Brit, not an American. But I respect the holiday, of course. I respect what it represents. So yeah, happy 4th of July, everybody watching right now. It's water under the rug, indeed. You know the saying, it's water under the rug, indeed. Welcome back, TP, bro. You're doing very well. We need stable coins too. We do need stable coins. We do, and the hope is that we will probably see stablecoins coming through following smart contracts and mainnet launches, which will likely come through Casplex first, which I'll be addressing both these smart contract protocols in a short moment. Welcome back, Stack Bro. You're doing very well, brother. Welcome back indeed. Lop12314, go Casper, you know it. Welcome back, DD Manager, doing very well, brother. Double D and YouTube evening to you too. So with that being said, of course, couldn't go live yesterday. I apologize for that. I had something that, again, for whatever reason right now in my life, especially with family, I don't know what, maybe it's the heat. I don't know what it is, but for whatever reason right now, I'm being caught off guard with a lot of last minute, things that I'm needing to do, in my life, which is therefore disrupting my schedule from being able to stream daily. So I do apologize for that. I'll always try and keep you posted on when I'm trying to stream and when I'm not. Ideally, it'll be every day, of course. I do have knowledge that Monday coming and equally the following Saturday will be tough and maybe be unable to stream, but I'll keep you all posted. I'll at least try and get videos out on those days so you have something to watch. But that's, again, water under the rug. Am I right? That being said, let's get into the content for today's stream. Giving a rundown of what's happening in the market right now. So we can see right now we had yesterday we had the unemployment data, which came back very good, but also a bit bearish. And I'll explain what I mean by that. So as I load up Forex Factory, again, this is information that I, told my community about, my VIPs ahead of time. So you want to benefit from get information as it happens ahead of time amongst many other things. And again, the VIP group, links down below in the description, also on my homepage as well. And thanks to our working together with BYDFI and Exchange No KYC, the VPN, you can see the watermark on the bottom left, BYDFI, No KYC. We also have them, kind of conjoint with our VIP as well. They also provide trades as well. Trading picks are very good. And they're actually also currently holding another incentive, a campaign, as I'm going to load it up on screen right now, where if you join right now, you have a chance to get an extra $2,000 bonus when trading. It ends on July 14th, so you've got roughly 10 days from now, an extension to the previous campaign. So you get benefits to signing up to BYDFI. You get 17% discount on all future trading fees. Again, no KYC. Much more. Private trading group with daily signals and market analysis. And equally, you'll get a 1-month free trial to the Coin Factory executives as well. So if you want to find out a lot more, get more locked into crypto, benefit from the market and much more, then check out the VIP group. If you need extra help to kind of help yourself get set up, then reach out to me on Discord and I'll help out where I can. But yeah, 1-month free trial, worth the while, because a lot more coming through in the alpha information provided in the VIP group is also, in my belief, very insightful. We are definitely locked in and knowing what's coming to the space. That's why my conviction has never stumbled and faltered once in what's coming to crypto and equally what's coming to Caspa. If you want to go through BYDFI, equally there's a 7-day free trial here as well, so you get a little inkling as well. All links are below in the description and on my homepage here as well. That being said, shameless shill aside, we can see it from Forex Factory, as I mentioned to my VIPs. We had the unemployment data, the non-farm payroll, which came back really good. We saw 147,000 more, jobs, as opposed to the 111,000 expected, which was also 3K more than the previous month. So the unemployment rate which was expected to go down, or better to go up by 0.1%, went down by 0.1%, which is really good. And the unemployment claims equally went down, 7K less than expected and 4K less than previous month. That's very good news for the general growth and stability of the US economy. However, because it's a stronger economy, that therefore means that Jerome Powell is less inclined to have to cut rates because the economy is in a good spot. Inflation's low and the economy is in a good spot. All things considered, actually, the markets are doing well. Despite the current, what's happening today, the stock market is at all-time highs and rallying up higher and higher. The crypto market, Bitcoin, is nearing all-time highs. It's only, 3-4% off? Yeah, not far off at all. Of course, altcoins are bleeding still. That will, in my opinion, not financial advice, will definitely change later on. Oil is staying quite stagnant around sub $68. Gold is still hovering near all-time highs. So all the big financial markets are, still hovering around all-time highs or doing very well. So with the unemployment also coming back at a very reassuring figure, showing growth in it, it does mean that Jerome Powell is less inclined to cut rates. So therefore, the chance of rate cuts in July has significantly dropped to basically 0% now, according to CME. Which is a bit concerning. Of course, we want to see rate cuts. Now, unless Jerome Powell changes his stance and what he says, we are still expecting 2 rate cuts later on in the year. And that's good news, right? Because what this means is, despite we're not going to get rate cuts anytime soon, if Jerome Powell's stance still stays the same in 2 rate cuts this year, and the economy is showing strength and growth, there is no doubt it's going to be one of the most bullish bull cycles and blow-off tops we've ever witnessed. Because there's never been a case, at least probably as bullish, if not more so, than last cycle. Because we've got a case where the economy, the inflation's down, the economy's strong, and we can afford to cut rates. Meaning you're going to have nothing but strength and growth, and therefore the ability to put more capital into on-risk assets with rate cuts, which would be fantastic. So ultimately, this is bad for short-term, but great for long-term potentially. We'll have to see what Jerome Powell says in the upcoming meetings and whatnot, which is really good to see. Now, in that regard, more macro news, also leading into why next week, I believe, will be a very big week potentially. And we can see here that David Sachs perched, of course, congratulations to Donald Trump, the House and the Senate for their leadership, and the House staff for passing the OBBB, the One Big Beautiful Bill has now passed, which is, big deal for America, going to be a very big change coming through. And they're already looking on to the next step, the next agenda, the next policy. Next up is Crypto Week in the House, starting July 14th, which is, that is not this, it's not next week, it's actually Monday, the following week, July 14th, where they're going to be discussing the Genius Act, stablecoin bills, which will hopefully be passed straight to Donald Trump's desk. The Clarity Act, the market structure bill, should be going through the Senate and go through some more procedures and whatnot. But as I am failing to load up posts ahead of time because I'm a poor researcher, Eleanor Terrett obviously commented on the same thing as well and highlighted here that, while again these big things are coming out in the next 2 weeks or in 10 days from now, 14th of July, we can see here that as Terra highlights, we've got a big 2 weeks ahead for the crypto in Congress, because while the next, the crypto week starts July 14th, but next Wednesday, which is only 5 days away from now, that is on the 9th of July, the Senate will be tackling a market structure hearing with a discussion draft likely next week too, and then the House's crypto week kicks off following that. So we'll be hearing next Wednesday some of their, initial thoughts on the current market structure hearing, and they'll be leading next week as well. So next week you'll start seeing, hopefully, some FOMO, hopefully some investor sentiment and confidence into the belief that the stablecoin bill and hopefully the kind of procedures of all the bills will be passed quite, confidently. There's a lot of belief right now from politicians, from institutions, and from retail that the stablecoin bill will be passed and sent to Trump's desk in the next 2 weeks. That's the belief right now. If that comes to fruition or not, we'll have to wait and see. If it doesn't, then you'll expect to see probably a bit more of delay in the bull cycle. If it does go through, it won't be a case of it's implemented into law ASAP, in the sense of we'll have all the structure just there. It will be implemented into law, which is great, but it'll take, months and months and months to actually fully have all the structure there. So it's not going to be an immediate thing, but it's setting up the space perfectly for what's to come. And they're discussing the Genius Act, also the Anti-CBDC Act as well. I forgot about that one. So those will be discussed in 2 weeks' time, which will be very, very big, and it'll start taking shape next week with the Senate talking about it. So you might expect to see some more FOMO, some more volatility, and maybe therefore Bitcoin following in regards to that M2 money supply we keep talking about, which of course Bitcoin has been lagging behind a little bit, which is not unexpected right now. Still a bit of a investors still a bit unsure right now. We can see it's lagging behind a little bit. Again, it's not 100% accurate, this indicator. It's got an 80 to 90% accuracy. So it's not a bad indicator, but it does suggest that Bitcoin should be rallying sometime in the next few days, weeks or so, if we get the reassuring confirmation and developments from in Congress and Trump and whatnot. Then we could hopefully start seeing Bitcoin make that push to 120k, then soon to go to 130k, going into August as well. So things are looking reassuring despite the current market sentiment, which may just be a case if it's down because it's the bank holiday, nothing really moving. And also you may be a case of the market trying to price in the fact that we're going to be seeing this bill coming through soon, so they want to price in, send it down a little bit more so to get ready for when we're going to start sending it up. Again, we'll be covering more so as the developments happen. And equally in talking about that, once more from Eleanor Terrett, bullish on thumbs. So crypto investors, so people like us, have given Trump's policies a thumbs up. So if we read on here a little bit, a survey has shown that crypto investors know Trump's crypto policies quite well. 81% say they are familiar with them, and 73% of them actually approve of them, which is a very, very high rating, which is actually the highest approval rating across all issues tested, including immigration, government costs, and returning America to its values. Trump's net approval of crypto policy sits at a quite astounding plus 56 points, compared to 48 or lower on other key issues. So crypto is by far his leading, stat, if you will. And it's not just talk. 71% of crypto investors surveyed say these policies have positively impacted crypto as an investment, which, and nearly half of all retail investors agree. And you could argue that's the case. I mean, looking at right now, again, while the policies have not come through just yet, we're seeing Bitcoin, since Trump's got into power, since he was confirmed as winning the election, you saw crypto go from, 66k up to 100 and, well, technically now it's peaked at 112k, but even though you saw it go up to here, you see that massive pullback when Trump was actually inaugurated. You saw all the Trump coin launched, all the FUD came from Liberation Day, and of course now we've seen a massive reversal in a short time frame since then, and then Bitcoin's made another all-time high since then. But we've seen, 66% rally in the price of Bitcoin since Trump was, won the election. So crypto has, in that regard, been positively impacted, or at least Bitcoin has done. There's more money in the market. Now, altcoins have struggled. Look at other assets, look at Ethereum, for example. Since Trump was inaugurated, we did see Ethereum make a nice rally up here, up to 73%, up to 4.1k. Then saw a pullback, a very big pullback, and now it's hovering around the same value as when Trump was first elected or first won the election. So we are still seeing a very, very similar price target, and of course then that's Ethereum, and every other altcoin has come down significantly more. So Caspa in that regard is currently down, give or take 40%. Sui is actually up a little bit, just a little bit, in regards to Sui, about 30%. Say, for those who are holding Say, currently down about, give or take, 25%. Tau I mean, I can go through all of them. I'm not going to go through all of them here. Tau as well, give or take about down 34-35%. So again, for the most part, Bitcoin's done fantastic. Alts have done either nothing or badly, which is just the nature of the market right now, because all institutions are involved into Bitcoin and solely Bitcoin. Ethereum ETFs are available, but they aren't getting much adoption right now. And other altcoin ETFs, there's currently, according to Bloomberg, a 95% chance. You'll see XRP, you'll see Solana, you'll see Cardano, you'll see Litecoin, you'll see many, many more. So you'll see a lot more adoption in this cycle, and altcoins will have their time through ETFs. And that will also, once Bitcoin dominance falls off as well, you'll see altcoins go parabolic as well. But it's high. It's 65.5% right now. It's very, very high, and that will easily reach 70. So I'm not expecting an altcoin rally in the immediate short term. I'm waiting for rate cuts, and the passing of the bill will be a good catalyst when they happen. The rate cuts will be a bigger catalyst for altcoins. But again, you may not expect altcoin rally till, who knows, maybe not even till Q4, which would be great for Caspa with Igra Labs mainnet probably coming out in Q4. So we may not expect anything for a good few months still, but you'll see a crypto rally of sorts hopefully this quarter, and then Q4 you'll start seeing alts taking more shape, and then where it goes from there, again, we'll play it by ear and we'll talk about it as it's going on. Now, to come back full circle before I get some questions real quickly. Furthermore, crypto again still perceived very, very positively. That optimism is a driving action. 68% of crypto investors say Trump's policies make them more likely to buy crypto, which is good. And 40% of traditional retail investors feel the same way. So you're now seeing more of the TradFi retail investors, that space, getting more inclined, more involved to get into crypto. Proof wants more the capital, the money that's going to be shifting from TradFi to DeFi. And 82% are now saying that now is a good time to invest. Of course, not financial advice, but I would argue that with what's about to come to the market, we're going to be going up soon enough. Of course, we've been saying that for months and months and months and months and months now, but I'm optimistic for what's coming through based on the incoming policies, which I've been saying for months and months and months. Those are the market catalysts, the, dare I say, market top indicators as well. They are what's going to help drive this market higher, at least my personal belief. And of course, Caspa is also very undervalued, as it has been. People are still frustrated with the price, as they should be. But I'm still confident that it's going to make some very, very shocking and big gains this cycle. I don't do price predictions, so I'm not going to give one, but I still believe it's going to do very, very well this cycle. I think it can comfortably surpass all-time highs at the very least in the coming months, based on what's coming out, the developments, and the fact that we're now also seeing some Bitcoin maximalists taking notice of Caspa more and more, which I will get into this post in a moment because it's very, very insightful and very important to get into as well. Before I do, though, and get into the Caspa content, though, questions from my lovely community. So where am I right now? I'm here at Wing Hong, brother, welcome back, my man. 37th, are we mooning yet? Not yet, unfortunately, but hopefully in due time. In due time, very, very soon. I say it all the time, but hopefully the money comes through soon enough, brother. Yeah, soon or not. Yeah, exactly. Peak Ski, I've been using BYDFI for like 3 years now. It was the only place a US citizen could buy XRP back then. I have to say they have the best customer service period of any centralized exchange. Well, that's also a benefit as well because, thank you. For the very, very easy shout out therefore. Because I'm working with BYDFI, it's not just a case of they have a great customer service, they're actually actively working with me. So if you are, with my affiliate link, you're signed to BYDFI through my link, you have literally direct access to the team of BYDFI. You can either ask me to contact them or you can go through yourself. So we literally have there's a literal support channel, support page for it. The BYDFI VIP support area. So if you are part of the community benefiting from the extra benefits of BYDFI, the trading elements and whatnot, and equally get a 1 month free trial to the VIP, you also can have direct one-to-one access and support from the BYDFI team. So I think BYDFI have been a very, very good exchange. Again, regulations in the United States, in Canada, in Australia, in Ethiopia, and many more regions. No KYC, no VPN. I'm so far I'm enjoying using them, and we've had some very, very big gains so far. We had a recent one that happened a few days back actually, as I again show it on screen. I did post it in the profit channels of my community here, where we did see a 200% RI in one of the shorts that was posted by one of the BYDFI traders. So again, want to get access to all that sort of stuff and a lot more. Links down below in the description. Also my homepage. If you need extra help, again, reach out to me on Discord and I'll help out where I can. But yeah, I think Uphold might have been available for XRP back then. Uphold always been quite good with supporting assets like Caspa, unlike XRP back then before the lawsuit as well. But BYDFI, they've also been a good exchange from what I can see. They were called Bityard before that. Bityard. Bityard. Bityard, and now they're BYDFI. Come on, Jay, send a magic spell. Oh yeah, Hocus Pocus, Caspa go up to infinite. Hopefully that happens now. Watch it happen as we speak. I'm like Ewan McGregor in Train Spotting, clinging to my sheets in bed watching the market. Honestly, I feel that. I feel like my whole thought is, when the market starts going up, that here's Johnny from The Shining. You start breaking through the door, like, oh, the market's going up. Here's Johnny. Here it's coming up. That's what I'm looking for. That being said, let's get into some of the Caspa content real quickly then. Let's get into that sort of content. So we can start off right here. A bit of FUD. Bear with me very, very briefly. I won't drag it on for you, but I want to just quickly address it because it's really doing my nutting and I want to talk about it. Johnny made a post just yesterday, saying trying to stay low for a while, but, kind of missing the Friday drama. Why? As if you're unaware, Johnny, he is the executive vice president of the KEF, the Caspa Ecosystem Foundation. Him and Shai don't see eye to eye, to put it bluntly. And, they had a bit of beef. Johnny, in combination with other core devs, kind of forced Shai out. Some were happy about it. I personally was not. But it's been and done. It's kind of water under the rug, water under the bridge. But Johnny joined Shai's own... I'm part of the Telegram that Shai's got as well, which I do occasionally look through. He just talks about some very insightful things in there. There's some alpha information I've got from there as well. So if you want to find out more, either join my VIP or join through that. Again, there's multiple ways to find it. But Johnny is also a part of it, which, again, I guess keep your enemies close is what it is. Either way, Shai makes a post here talking in his Telegram with these people. He's not outing him to like Twitter. There's a more public space. He's talking to the few thousand inside his own Telegram server, where he basically just talked about, the idea of Sompolinsky and his Bitcoinizing of Caspa idea, which he's saying that a lot of people actually are very, very scared of Caspa because of a lot of the quote-unquote nonsense, which he's highlighting pretty much regarding the KEF. Again, I'm not going to go too much deep into it, and I'm not going to also depict that KEF are at fault, because I'm not necessarily believing that. I'm not taking anything here as holy grail or as fact. Whether Shai has been approached like he says he has been about Caspa, but the investors have been too scared because of people like the KEF and Johnny. That's his personal opinion, and I'm not taking it as holy grail because who am I to say otherwise? I'm not a part of these conversations. I cannot make an opinion based on speculative talk. He might be right, but I don't know that, so I can't make an opinion on that. Either way, he's saying that. Talk about it here and there, talking about KEF pulling the strings, apparently illicit stuff going on. Their plan to apparently rug Caspa in the future. Hopefully not, is all I could say. I don't know the full picture. Who does? Hopefully not. You haven't got to believe Shai. It's not the point of this either way. But you have been seeing questions being raised, which is questions that you're welcome to ask. Anyways, that's a little bit of backstory. Johnny, who's lurking in Shai's Telegram, then makes a post about it, outing it on Twitter. Gives a whole rundown here, which I'm not going to get into because it's not worth my time. And I simply just put, as not just me, by the way, because I can click on it and you can see everybody else. Shai says, Johnny, stop tagging me. Casper Silver says, just do it privately. Captain Sats, do it privately. Crypto Matt, do it privately. Just stop. Stop doing it all out in public. That is my only qualm, my only issue with this. If you've got an issue with Shai, well warranted, whatever it may be, fine, cool, you do you. Stop making it public. We don't want to see it. Do it private. That's what I said here. Please, brother, for the love of everything, can you just stop making this stuff public? It can and should be done privately, and if you cannot come to some form of mutual agreement where you just ignore whatever, just do the grown-up thing and block him and or ignore him. That is all you got to do. I've been doing it for a while. You know how much hate I get as a Caspa content creator? People who think it's a scam token, who come at me daily. Either I interact with them and, put some facts on the table so they can try and dispute it, or I ignore them. It's really not hard to do. It's not hard to do. I don't see the necessity for people to always have to get a word in. It does my nut in. It really confuses me. So that is my 2 cents on the matter. And I made a post about it in my community, which is, if I'm being blunt, the more of this FUD, I'm not even talking about what Shai's saying. I'm not taking what Shai's saying again as factual. So I'm ignoring what Shai's saying here, but I am not happy, personally, with how consistently Johnny wants to try and stir stuff. while Shy is definitely, he's not innocent, he's definitely at fault for this, why do you have to rise to the matter? So I said in my community, more and more every day now, I'm actually looking more forward to IGRA. Now, I still think Casplex are doing some good stuff, and I'm hoping Casplex will be a very, very big success. They got KYC 20 as well. And the update today regarding new smart contract is regarding Casplex. But I am increasingly more every day looking forward to IGRA with their team, which has been more transparent, with their team that has, been a part of more, AMAs, talking to the XXIM and Kit, whereas Casplex have been a lot more standoffish, a lot more secretive, which is fine to an extent, but we like transparency in Casplex. We like to know what's being built. So my 2 cents on it is, I still like Casplex. I haven't got any personal issues with the Casplex team. I think they're building some really, really interesting stuff. I am starting to get a bit of an issue with Johnny and his, in my personal belief, childish behaviour. Can he just drop it? Because I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to cover this stuff. But this also could be a potential reason for why Casplex are doing badly today, as down 5%. Because, I don't think that is the inherent reason. I think it's the market. But you could argue that's adding more FUD and therefore causing a lot of confusion and, again, investor FUD not wanted, right? Either way, I'm looking forward to Casplex's mainnet and what they're bringing. It's been successful from what I've seen so far. From what little I have seen, it's been successful. I'm looking forward to IGRA as well. Their test that's coming out literally this month, I believe in the next few weeks, which would be really, really cool. Their mainnet should be coming out in Q4. You've got certain entities like 3 Capital. You've got Caspa.com, and you also have got Wolfie, who are partnership/endorsing with IGRA. So those 3 will hopefully get many benefits from that as well. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great, great time for Caspa this quarter, going into the following months as well, into the end of the cycle, whenever that may be. Now, let's get into the next big part, which is regarding Casplex again. The fight is regarding Johnny, not regarding Casplex. And Casplex, again, they're doing some good stuff, and I'm hoping they'll stay true to their word and being open and transparent and whatnot. So, Caspador here says, I wonder what this could be. Oh, I know. CBB is one of the Casplex developers alongside Chris Ken. There's only 2 we know of, Casplex here. If we wrote the contract in Lua. So this is, sounds very uncertain. It's like, what is this about? Well, as we get a few more questions here, Casper Sentinel asks, Johnny, so smart contracts are ready for the KEF. And he said that's not a question for the KEF, but for Casplex. The KF don't know about it, is Casplex need to be asked about that sort of stuff. Maybe this is the Lua VM virtual machine, not related and in parallel to Ethereum virtual machine, or maybe Casplex team is still figuring out how to use KYC 20 to raise funds before they can get ready. And 5BB highlights here, so basically Casplex therefore. It is still in very early experimental version. As an open smart contract environment, it still needs at least 2 modifications to the underlying mechanism, but it is sufficient for the system contract of KYC 20. Next, I need to tune the performance. Reading on further here. What's the main difference between ZK EVM and new VM, the new virtual machine, which is seemingly Lua? EVM means a fixed technology path with bloated compatibility builds, which is entirely true, but we can also explore other possibilities after untying some old shackles. For example, it can easily implement parallel computing, has very simple and easy to learn programming syntax, and has relatively faster execution speed, which is all really, really cool. Someone asks like Sparkle. Like, not really sure about Sparkle, but I think it's a system at different levels. Sparkle looks like a more complex infrastructure at the bottom level, but the Lua-based virtual machine provides a simplified implementation of the application layer. It is a lighter and faster than Solidity Ethereum virtual machine. And even Michael Sun says here, I really like this path. So even one of the core Caspa devs is, showing his support for what is being built with Casplex right now, which is a vote for confidence. Coders seem to be doing the right thing here. So it's a new smart contract element, therefore, kind of an upgrade to the Ethereum virtual machine. Maybe that's why they've been taking so long to release the mainnet for Casplex, because we were under the impression it should be coming out, in June. Didn't come out. The testnet came out end of May, about 30th or 29th of May. It came out the testnet. We were expecting a mainnet launch in June. Did not happen. Maybe it's because they're now trying to work on making more effective and more efficient coding that can run on Casplex to basically be an upgrade from the Ethereum virtual machine, which again is bloated. And has some compatibility build issues, so it would make it more inclusive, therefore, which is good news. Now, Casplex highlights here, smart contracts are designed for more than just meme or degen projects, which is entirely true. You know, Casplex of course have KYC 20, which is all well and good. But of course we need to see a lot more than just the KYC 20. You see more than just the memes. So in that regard, therefore, this new upgrade could be a very, very big thing. And Chris Kang does comment on this factor as well, saying, so do we really need an Ethereum-like ecosystem on Caspa? So a bit of a rundown of it. So we are seeing more stuff happening, which is really, really cool. So as I give a kind of summary of this right now, Casplex, of course, their layer 2 is developing the EVM compatible layer 2, aiming to simplify developments rather than just copy Ethereum. That's not trying to create a carbon copy of it, they're trying to simplify and make it better. That's what I think the Lua VM is there for, a new VM. So while the testnet has processed over 1 million transactions, their focus is on easing the developer burden. They're trying to make it easier for people to onboard, which I think is a very big deal. If you can make it easier to onboard, you'll see quicker adoption. Because Caspa is a great technological stack. It's a great platform. It's a great protocol. But if it's hard to get on the platform and utilize it properly, you're not going to want to use it. It makes sense, right? So currently, building on Caspa apparently is very, very complex, requiring developers to manage transactions, reorganizations, and data storage due to pruning, which was mentioned here. Very, very difficult. Now, is what it is. Casplex Layer 2 seeks to abstract these complexities, acting as an execution engine driven by the Caspa network. So unlike typical Ethereum virtual machine chains with fixed block times, Casplex's Layer 2 generates blocks only when relevant data is presented. With Layer 2 transaction sequencing mirroring Caspa Layer 1, this approach allows developers to use custom instructions with Caspa transaction payloads, which the Layer 2 engine then interprets as smart contract execution. So for example, a chess game's move could be included in Caspa's payloads, with a smart contract settling rewards only at game completion. That's the whole, and we've seen that stuff with chess anyway, so that's quite cool. The whole goal is just trying to facilitate a broader range of applications beyond just DeFi or meme projects. They're trying to make it more inclusive for everything, for Web3 games, for your general messaging stuff. Again, talk about it here. From the outset, the goal of Casplex is not just to be compatible with Ethereum dApps, are aiming to reduce the work for developers on building on Caspa. I'm very proud of the work done by Cassia messaging. However, for other devs, for other looking to build on Caspa, it's a challenging task. Some are already able to get into it and are knowledgeable enough to build on it, like the messaging app right now, which it looks extremely extremely cool right now. This sort of stuff you can see here. When there's a pause that comes in the messaging, it tells you the estimated fee for how much it's going to cost for the transaction, 0.0001885 Caspa. So shout out to those developing that. I'm hopefully going to find more about it. I'm not entirely sure if you can use it right now. Probably still very early stage. I need to look into that a bit more. But yeah, I mean that's ultimately what I'm understanding from this message here. They're trying to build this new VM as opposed to the ZK EVM, which will basically make it easier for developers to onboard to Caspa. So big deal for Casplex therefore, and I do like what they're building. Again, nothing against Casplex at all. It's purely just Johnny I have a problem with right now, truth be told, because he's just acting too much on Twitter. I prefer if he didn't. But that being said, we've got some other very insightful posts there, like this stuff here that I'll get into in just a moment. Before I do again, let's get into some more questions first and foremost. MVE, smart contracts and other big BS. I mean, if you don't like Caspa, that's perfectly fine. It's hard to really put down Caspa for smart contracts that have not come out just yet. And again, what they're doing is not just following what every other project's doing, they're reinventing the wheel. So if it's something that you don't agree with, it's perfectly fine. I think many people don't understand Caspa. Many people evidently don't understand Caspa very well. And therefore, it's because they understand it, they choose to either hate on it or feign ignorance to it. It's what it is. You haven't got to like Caspa. It doesn't bother me either way. I'm excited for smart contracts, and I'm excited to see more adoption. And what Casplex seem to be doing, as well as IGRA, is finding ways to make it easier to onboard, which is a big, big deal for easier adoption and quicker adoption. Imagine selling now. That's my whole thought. Why would you sell Caspa now? Again, do what you need to do. Not financial advice, but Caspa currently at 7.47 cents, down almost 5% on the daily time frame. It's gone from a rough patch, definitely, but for me, there's a very strong chance that Caspa returns and surpasses expectations. So why would I sell when it's down? I could stack more when it's down. Crypto is cooked. If they're referring to Caspa, then again, your own personal belief, that's fine. If you're referring to crypto as a whole, I would definitely I disagree with both points either way. Crypto is not cooked. Caspa is also not cooked. Doing bad in price action, but I'm still not worried about the project in the slightest. What's up, J.I. bro? Hit that like button, y'all. You know it. If you enjoy the stream, as always, leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. $2.7 billion worth of Bitcoiners move after 14 years of inactivity today. That is, yeah, I saw that post earlier, actually. I didn't bring it up, but actually it's a very, very big deal to see a lot of inactive wallets after 14 years of inactivity. You're holding for cold storage, not moving for 14 years, and now you're moving it. Something's moving. That's a big, you got in 14 years ago, by the way. We're currently in 2025, looking at 2011. 2011, so you're looking all the way back here. You're one of the first people holding Bitcoin. Like, you had Bitcoin when it was worthless. That's insane. So that's a sign. People who are holding Bitcoin at the very beginning are now finally, holding it and moving it and doing stuff with it. That's a sign more than anything else that something big's about to come. Something huge is about to come to the space. Very, very big indeed. Gemini launched tokenized stock trading in Europe, also very big. Yeah, we've seen that more and more as more proof again that the TradFi space is starting to bleed into DeFi. Offering tokenized stock trading is huge, huge news. So again, this stuff is only going to accelerate more and more, and I'm sure in the future with what's being built, Caspa and the people, again, if they can really get the smart contract stuff working properly, which I'm hoping they will do, and they make onboarding really seamless, you'll see developers and stuff coming on to also be able to offer tokenized stocks on Caspa as well, and that'd be huge. Imagine Caspa doing that. The whole stock market, therefore, on Caspa. That's a $50 trillion market on Caspa. Obviously in theory, because again, you're not going to see that whole market necessarily come to Caspa. You might see a portion of that come to Caspa. But either way, it'd be a very, very big deal. Satoshi Move It will invest in Caspa. Hey, do what you need to do, Dimitar, man. Love to hear it. What's up, Bingo Bango, bro? You're doing very, very well. Imagine buying right now, honestly. Honestly, the blood's in the water, right? 73rd, indeed. Speaking of which, only 18... Yeah, no, crazy. Currently 22 likes, so I appreciate all very, very much. We can make at least 30 likes right now. Be very, very huge, and hopefully 50 by the end of the stream. If you make 30 likes, be very, very big. Everyone like to free Mr. Miles, or at least have some American baked beans. And no more soapy British beans. Yeah, if you don't want to have any more soapy British beans, then definitely like the stream, you know it. Bro, look at the chart of Caspa, a big green candle of nowhere. I mean, yeah, I think there's a possibility that in the near future you'll see Caspa just have a very sudden big green candle. Again, there's so many catalysts that have not been accounted for yet. The big tier ones, the smart contract that will see increasing adoption and therefore a gradual rally. Some other, adoption through maybe the KRI, some other endorsements. Maybe the fact that you're seeing Bitcoin maximalists who are now actively starting to look more into Caspa, and therefore they may, while they're looking in researching into it right now, they may decide to diversify their portfolio and get more involved into Caspa and adopt it. You never know. We're sorry nobody wanted to hear your mouth about the war. I'm not entirely sure where that's come from. But there's someone else in the chat that was mentioning that. I didn't see it, or I skipped it maybe. I'm not entirely sure, but I mean, if he's gone now, I mean, I didn't do anything. Maybe I banned him. I don't know. Maybe YouTube banned him. I have no idea. Either way, we'll have to wait and see. Caspa's dumping, lol, like the whole market, but okay. I'm buying this dip, honestly. Long stays open. Good stuff, Justin. Love to hear it, man. Come on, let's moon. What's taking so long? Just not enough market sentiment right now, unfortunately. Has Caspa got a date for smart contracts yet? No time just yet. The working time frame is testnet for IGRA this month, and then mainnet should be coming out in Q4, and Casplex are completely dark. They said before Q3, we're now in Q3, it's not come out just yet, and we've had no updates just yet, still to be determined, so we're left in the dark with Casplex right now, which is very frustrating. Look at the minute. Oh, okay, the minute chart. Okay, well, I'm not looking at the minute chart because it's a bit... Minute chart is like very, very short. If you're trading Caspa, day trading Caspa, then yeah, minute chart's fine. Otherwise, I only look at the day chart because I'm looking a bit more long term. I think YouTube censored my comment. Oh, okay. Oh, you said Shy is a butthurt little... Okay, right. Fair enough. Okay, well, yeah, some people don't agree with Shy, don't like his opinions. That's, again, perfectly fine. You're entitled to believe that. I do sympathise with Shy and the way he was done wrong. He did part of it on himself, I'd argue. But at the same time, the way he was done wrong and outed was, terrible. But, again, that we discussed that already months back. I'm not going to get into I'm not going to open up that can of worms again, Mantra versus Blaze. I mean, yeah. I wouldn't say they're comparable. mantra, I would say that was a lot bigger as an asset and therefore a lot more disastrous. But yeah, Blaze. I'm not going to get into it too much because that's too much FUD, and I'm pretty sure everybody knows what I'm talking about. If you don't, you should be a part of my community, my physical server where people are talking about it. It's about two KOLs, two content creators who have repeatedly been outed for rug pulling people. People always talk about it in the chat as well. So yeah, again, those people who do that, in my belief, karma will come back to bite you. I don't know why you're doing wrong to your community. I think it's quite a scummy thing to do. I wouldn't trust those people. The fact that he's still getting trust and getting support from me is crazy. People obviously were able to some make money off it, perfectly fine, but those who got hard done by, all I could do is apologise on their behalf. Well, I guess apologise on their behalf, but it's not my place to apologise. You've got to be careful who you trust in this space. You really, really do. And people like that who've got a track record, definitely be careful. I can say with, reassurance and thankfulness to myself that I have never and never will do something like that, because why would I do that? Why would I take advantage of people who are just purely coming here to me for entertainment? Those people like that only see you with a bank account. At least I can see you for face value for who you are, which are investors who want to end up achieving financial freedom. I try and help as opposed to take advantage of that, but everyone's greedy, right? Greed will make you do crazy things. No tier 1. I believe we'll get a tier 1. But either way, that being said, let's get back into some of the content. So let's get into the reason why I think Caspa can still do very, very well is because of Bitcoin and maximalists. So this individual, still calling him V because I don't want to butcher his name. He recently has been all over Caspa, and actually he has become recently the biggest top voice for Caspa, which I was fortunate enough to actually reach the top 25. So thank you all for that, helping me become one of the deemingly key voices for Caspa. Top 25. I'm going to try and take over Levendi Pro next from the Blockchain Banter crew. So that's my goal next. Hopefully almost enough from here. But yeah, V has been one of the biggest voices for Caspa right now, and that's the reason why is because he is a Bitcoin maximalist. And he's been only ever in Bitcoin. He got asked a question about, have you looked into Caspa? He said, no, it's a scam. And then when he was asked a few more questions about why is it a scam, he's like, I don't actually know, I've not researched into it. I'm going to look into it a little bit more so and then give you my opinion. And he did a little bit of research. And that little bit of research was enough for him to start delving into it a little bit more. He's now been on a Caspa research train, not because he wants to invest into Caspa, but he wants to understand more about how crypto works. He said it in his page as well. His research of Caspa has actually helped him understand a lot more about crypto and Bitcoin as a whole. And it's not made him a Caspa maximalist by any means. He's still a Bitcoin maxi, but he's saying, Bitcoin maxis have come at him left, right, and center saying you're being shilled to talk about Caspa, all this other stuff as well. He's not a big account. He's got a lot more followers now because of Caspa. He was at 1.9k 2 days ago. Now he's at 3.2k because Caspa people are now following him. So maybe he's also doing engagement farming. Who knows? Either way, get your bag, man. Respect to you for that. But he's now started to talk more and more about Caspa, and he's getting a lot more engagement from it as well. And he basically just asked here, because he's, again, a beginner, can confirm I've had a few Bitcoin maxis DM me saying they're interested in joining the space, talk about Caspa. Not scheduled just yet, to hear the conversation between Shy and myself talk about Caspa. As I'm coming from the Bitcoin maxi space, I'm going to be asking a ton of beginner level questions regarding Caspa and why it's even worth any attention. If you're a Bitcoin maxi and have any questions, objections or FUD, leave them in the comments. I'll compile the questions and you can ask them. Fair point. Of course, Bitcoin maxis hate Caspa. And some of them are going to be blindedly hating Caspa for the rest of their life because they don't want to, learn. They just want to be, sitting on their, I guess, dying horse, if you will. I don't think Bitcoin's dying per se, but it's losing its intrinsic initial value of being a mean of exchange, peer-to-peer electronic currency. Either way, we're seeing a Bitcoin maxi starting to at least expand and learn more, not to invest into Caspa, but to understand more about the project and see if it's worth his time. And you can see you're going to see it happen more and more. Bitcoin maximums are going to be like, let me look into Caspa. It sounds interesting. You know what? Let's just put 1% of my Bitcoin portfolio into Caspa. That 1% for most Bitcoin maxis could be a huge sum. And that could elevate Caspa's price therefore a lot more as well. Or some politically said you need high net worth people to get involved. The tech could attract people. Now he said this, and Shy, with respect to the man, people will maybe not like this, but I think he's within his right, says, I won't do a space representing Caspa. Sorry, a casual private conversation is the best I can offer. And that's fair enough. Why? Because he was done wrong by the core devs, by Johnny. He was outcasted. He was outed. So why should he therefore be a representative for Caspa? He shouldn't have to rep Caspa to talk about stuff about Caspa when he's not with them anymore in that regard. Now, I do believe, based on what's happening right now, Shai will come back to Caspa in the future, but it won't be on the same terms. It'll be a case where he's actually paid, like he was basically being paid by the KEF and Cas and Ruba Media, I think it was, or Cas Media. He'll be paid to basically be the educator for Caspa, like he was beforehand, but in a bit more of a actual contractual sense, as opposed to kind of off the back of it as a good favour. Now, he's not bearish on Caspa, by the way, because he said here again, he'll do a private conversation about it. He'll still talk about Caspa to him. He was happy to talk about Caspa to the individual. He just won't do it publicly. He won't endorse Caspa, because why should he? Someone asks here, Christian Ludwig or Caspa Hype Man would be great for the space if Shai doesn't want to. This would be very beneficial for the entire proof of work community to have a public space, and I agree with that. And Shai, and respect to the man again, he is right. While they would be fine, they won't know the tech well enough to answer his questions. And of course, like, it's beginner level questions. Fair enough, true. Main priority would be providing general education to Bitcoin maxis to get their Caspa ball rolling. Very technical info may work against us at first in the specific narrative. And you could argue there's a truth in that. But at the same time, I agree with Shai. There will be some questions at beginner level, because Bitcoin maxis have a more inherent understanding of how the proof of work space works. And there will be a case where some people, even in these people, I can't attest to saying that Christian Ludwig or, Wolfie aren't knowledgeable about it. But when you think about expertise, Shai has one of the best expertise in this space regarding proof of work. He's got a PhD in quantum cryptography. He was there with the core team when they were building out Caspa. He knows how the tech works, arguably as good as everybody else. He's not a developer, but he knows about it. And he's saying they can't answer beginner level questions as well. You need someone technical for that kind of view. Find a dev to do it. You've got to understand, right? And people are going to take this the wrong way. And I've seen people taking it the wrong way. He is not saying, you need me back. He is not saying that at all. Not for a second. He's not saying, ask me, invite me, pay me to come back to Caspa and I'll talk about it for you. He's not saying that at all. He's just saying, if you want to really get these Bitcoin maxis and these people to know about Caspa properly, even the beginner level questions, get the core devs, the Michael Suttons, the Son Polinskis, the crypto aspect. Get these people to start talking about it. Invite them to talks. Because I'm not doing it anymore. To get them to do it. I'm not saying invite me back, but get them to do it. Because while Wolfie and Christian Love will be good, I'm sure they'll know more about Caspa than the average person. Or even good options, propose Elliot, or also propose Fresh Air. These people also have a lot of information. So you could ask Michael Sutton, Son Polinsky, you could ask Ori. You've got all the people here you could ask, Cody or stuff as well, who also would have quite in-depth information as core devs about how Caspa functions. So they could answer pretty much any question about it. And that would be great for the interview. You could also, again, propose Elliot or Fresh Air. And Elliot says, I'll be glad you're on the space, although my above average knowledge at this point is still constrained to specific topics. So again, is once more, while there be good options, again, it's highlighting that he's basically saying, with respect to Shai, I will, I've got good knowledge of Caspa, but I still don't think I'll be able to, answer every single question because it's still a bit constrained. Of course, Shai, I think, would have a lot more in-depth knowledge about everything. That's my personal belief. From what I've seen, the fact that I actually learnt about Caspa and a lot of the in-depth information came from Shai himself, that's why I'm maybe a bit biased about it, but Shai did help me learn a lot about Caspa. And even then, my knowledge is probably average at best. I'm not a tech whiz. Any tech questions asked about me, I'll give my best rundown of it, but I am just a KOL. I'm not a developer. I will ask. There are people in my community, my lovely community you all here, who are more tech savvy than me, who know more how it works. People like Tony. I'm not so much sure about Crypt Tony. I think Crypt Tony, you're quite knowledgeable as well, but Tony, I know he is very IT savvy as well, and he knows a lot of stuff. And there are other people as well who know about it. But I think this is a fair point. So you've got Bitcoin Maximalist asking about, I want to have a space to talk about Caspa. Shai's like, I won't do it for Caspa, but I'll do it privately if that works. He's like, yeah, I'll happily do that. I want to know more anyways, that's fine. And then other people are being said, you can do it anyways, other people, and it's like, that's fine. And then you go into this, I say that because I go into this point here as well. Now that Caspa doesn't have a technical voice of someone who was actually involved in the building of it, or at least studying it well enough, degens are flocking in to fill the vacuum. So that would argue people like me. I'm not taking that as an insult. Most people have taken that as an insult because the terminology is off. The term degens is you could probably put KOLs as opposed to degens, but he's right. Caspa has lost its technical voice, so to speak, in regards to Shy, and therefore you have people like us who are doing our best to fill the space and understand about Caspa, and we are spreading a good knowledge about Caspa, but in regards to the deep technical aspect of it, it won't compare to Shy's. The community must encourage and pressure devs to participate in the tech talks. Again, I saw people in the comments that are taking it the wrong way. He's not saying invite me back. He's saying, because I'm no longer with Caspa and I was doing the technical stuff, and now you've got other people filling the void who aren't as knowledgeable as, myself and Caspa, you should encourage as a community the other devs to participate and talk about Caspa to get the knowledge still flowing. You don't need to have me back. I don't care. But ask the devs to talk about it so you can get more in-depth insight. He did say in the comments on one of these points here as well that, he actually was expecting by now that another big tech-savvy person would have come in to replace him as the technical voice for Caspa, but the self-proclaimed technical voice for Caspa, but no one's done that yet. Self-proclaimed businessmen are not a substitute. Throwing them in front of a maxi crowd in a position that is necessarily perceived as representing Caspa will be a disaster at worst and a huge missed opportunity at best. And I do agree with him. Maybe, again, my biasness too Shy, but don't get me wrong, he's got a very, very weird way of words. That much I can agree with, and of course people have definitely hated him for that. But he is a genius. I'm not going to sugarcoat. He is a genius. PhD in quantum. That's never me. I can never do that. I know I can never do that. I have a deep understanding about Caspa, but not as deep as this man. And he is not, again, saying, bring me back and I'll talk. I mean, I'm sure he'd be happy to. Maybe after a few months when it's actually simmered down a little bit. It's still quite heated, I'm sure. But I'm sure he'd be happy to talk about Caspa again on a, paying contract term, which he has said he probably would do in the future anyways. But he's not saying invite me back. He's just saying, get these people who know the tech properly to talk about it. Because otherwise you're going to get people who are just kind of spreading lackluster or misinformation about Caspa. It's going to ruin it, which I think is a fair point. I think a very fair point. But either way, that's the Shy stuff, and I still do think that we're now seeing again, thanks to V here and hopefully many more, you're getting other Bitcoin maxers therefore now starting to show a bit of interest into Caspa. Again, despite its lackluster price, they're showing interest into Caspa. That is a big deal. They're seeing the tech as something interesting and potentially worth investing into. They're not in it, but they're potentially considering it. So they get a little bit more of a push over the edge due to the right people, whether it be people like me or people who are more tech savvy like Shy, or again, the people listed down below. It could help bring in the actual big capital, not the crypto institutions, which I'm sure would come through, exchange whatnot and KRI and whatnot, but again, the big retailers as well, the whales from the Bitcoin maxis, starting to slowly filter into capital because they don't want to go to XRP or Sui or Ethereum or any other proof of stakes. Will they make money this cycle? Sure they will. They've got big FIs backing them. Of course they will. But are they why they got into Bitcoin crypto? No. They aren't Bitcoin. They aren't proof of work. They aren't fair launched. They're not going to get into KDA because while that was proof of work, that was not fair launch. They're not going to get into Litecoin because equally it's just not good. But they're looking at Caspa. They're considering Caspa because Caspa has something available to them. They see it as interesting. While the argument of Bitcoin maximalists to Caspa is that Bitcoin's bigger, it's already caught the market, it's the first mover advantage, you haven't got to reinvent the wheel. All while valid, also not entirely true. I think reinventing the wheel is something you can do. I mean, think about how information was originally perceived and sent across the world through carrier pigeon to through cars and through, walking on foot to whatever, through newspapers. Now it's done through 2 clicks on the internet. Wirelessly. It's ridiculous. You can do it on a phone. It's ridiculous. So you can reinvent the wheel. So that argument for me for Bitcoin maximalists is completely irrelevant. But that's for me again. I'm intrigued about this, and I think this could be a very, very big switch for Caspa as well, and helping the price out with more. Again, the Bitcoin maximalists and many, many more starting to perceive this project as interesting and worthwhile their time. With smart contracts on the horizon, with stable contracts following as well, with other developments coming through, you will see more adoption. Still not a matter of if, a matter of when. And also very interesting as well, shout out to Tony for putting this in. XXIM again, Ankit did another podcast interview, been popping off recently as well, with JD from Funding Caspa to exploring Caspa's first mixer, Kas Mixer, which is right here. Sorry, warning, flashbang. Sorry, too late. I'll put it in dark mode here. Sorry if I blinded you. Can it go? There you go. Which I'm not going to go into too much detail here. But from my understanding, it is a very cool piece of tech. It emphasizes that community is everything, and their goal is to support and grow the ecosystem through collective efforts. So basically that goal, from the looks of things, as I did read a little bit through it, and equally Crypto put information about it as well in our community. He highlighted that Casplex apparently obfuscates transaction trails by making their transactions private. So it's a way to make transactions private, once more adding more to decentralization and security, which would be, again, a very, very big feat. So that is, equally very, very cool. Casplex enhances your privacy by breaking the on-chain link between source and destination addresses. We use advanced mixing techniques to ensure your transaction remains private, which is, that for me, again, privacy is everything. And that could be a very, very big upgrade to just what's coming to Caspa as well. So those who have been talking about the privacy element, for certain assets like Monero, which is the privacy token, those sort of assets that have that benefit, Caspa can have that as well. It's just early. All the arguments about why Caspa is terrible that I've been seeing, they can be easily disputed by just saying, well, Caspa is early, it's not built it yet. But they are building. It's not that they stopped building. It's not every other project in this space is pretty much a finished product. They're all finished, pretty much. Caspa's literally 10-20% complete, if that. It's still building. You haven't got Dagnite, haven't got smart contracts, haven't got stable coins, haven't got IGRA out, haven't got Casplex out, haven't got KRI building on Caspa just yet, haven't got all the other dApps coming to Caspa. There's so much more to be built on Caspa, so much more. We're very, very early. You've got this whole post here as well that I might cover another time. Caspa AI, the adoption inflection, predicting the parabolic surge. Interesting article. I'll repost it in my community free Discord server. Again, links down below. And again, shameless plugs, I know. Free Discord server. Check it out. Also VIP through alpha information, through weekly live streams, through buy and sell alerts, and much, much more on there. Alpha information, educational videos, all stuff available on there as well. And equally, again, thanks to our worker together, BYDFI, no KYC, no VPN, and regulated exchange. You can get a 1 month free of this as well, and permanent access to the BYDFI channels in there as well, the trading sources in there as well, with daily updates as well, and a 70% discount on all trades. So again, benefits of that, again, incentive or campaign even, currently ongoing. New user deposit, we can get up to 2k free. So ends on 14th of July. Check that out. Link down below in the description. Also in the Discord community and on my homepage as well. So check that all out. But I'm optimistic, and this I'll put in my community there as well. Very, very in-depth article. This guy does a lot of very good articles about Caspa, and I do respect him for it. And, in regard to predicting the parabolic surge, there's a lot of stuff to take into account. Inflection points and whatnot, the technical superiority and scalability, the historical pretense or precedent and network effects, exchange visibility and liquidity, imminent protocol enhancements, AI adoption tailwinds, robust tokenomics and scarcity, and so on and so forth, that I'll get into probably in tomorrow's stream. But it's really, really insightful stuff, again, this article. And again, this is the stuff that I like seeing regarding Caspa, what's coming to it, and why, again, price for me is just a number. What matters is much more than just the value of an asset. Of course, it's important. You don't want to discredit that. It's important as an investor. You want to see the money go up, but it will, in my belief. Personal belief, again, not financial advice. Imagine all the stream about Caspa and we got no alt season and Caspa is still under a all-time high end of year. That would be a crazy shock event for me personally. I'd be surprised that happens. Of course, anything's possible, so who knows, worst case if it does happen, but I'm very, very doubtful about that. I think Caspa will definitely do very well this cycle. I think you're going to see a big tier ones listing as well. Caspa may be a threat to them and definitely might try to suppress it, but you can't suppress true innovation like that. The community for Caspa is already big enough as it is, It's comparison to other projects are probably not the big. It's like one of the third or fourth biggest ecosystems, and it's a top 40, top 50 asset. In regards to other projects that are higher market cap, it's got a much bigger community, which that says a lot about it. When my CMC wants to load, did you see Ludwig take control? Yeah. Christian Ludwig now taking control of Caspa's account, which they removed Caspa City to just Caspa now, which is good. And they've changed the app from Caspa Currency to Caspa. What was it? Caspa Unverified, or it was Caspa On something. Caspa Unchained, which mean, the at means nothing, honestly. Caspa Unchained, Caspa currency, that's not that deep to me at all. Caspa, having it back to Caspa again, I think is a good thing. So, I mean, it's good. You know, it's a step in the right direction, I guess. We'll see what more comes to it very, very soon. It's been for watching Bitcoin maxis being educated. Yeah. It is painful it is very painful. But at least some of them are willing, right? And as long as you have some that are willing, more will become willing. Exactly. You know, Shai is on the white paper. That's what I mean. Shai is literally an integral part of Caspa. He got forced out. And it's sad to see. Why is this Bitcoin maxi getting so much attention? Who is he? I didn't know about him. He doesn't have that many followers. He had 1.9k or 1.5k prior to Caspa. And then he started talking about Bitcoin being the best. Someone said, have you seen Caspa? He said, no, it's a scam. And then that was literally 4 days ago. And since then, he's been on a journey to try and learn more about Caspa. And he's been enlightened about it. And therefore got a lot of adoption and attention. But yeah, we are treating him like someone. I don't know why. I don't think he's a beginner. I'm highlighting him because it's interesting to see a Bitcoin maxi actually, you know, take interest into Caspa. Not the first time we've seen it, but it's interesting to see it happen again. Despite you had it back here when the price was really high, and it then fell off, and now it's happening again when Caspa price was really, really low. So it's interesting, and therefore he's currently got a lot of adoption. You know. Wallet 2 DWF, yeah, so right now we're still unsure exactly who Wallet 2 is. There's no confirmation that I've seen. But Wallet 2 bought another 20 million Caspa today to my knowledge, which is, you know, huge news once more, stacking more Caspa. Currently addressed as 532, just short of 533,000. It says 1 here, but it was happened yesterday, I think, another 20 million Caspa was stacked. And we have no confirmation who it is, but it's highly speculated it's going to be either Binance or it's a market maker, being likely DWLFs or Wintermute. We'll find out hopefully in due time. But yeah, you can see here 20 million more Caspa bought. Interesting stuff. Hopefully that'll convert into either Binance listing or it'll convert into them giving money to Binance for listing. Again, we'll have to see what happens with that. But this wallet's still stacking. It's big, almost the Aquaman now. It's got 816 million Caspa, 61 almost $1 million. It's absolutely insane. DWS, the market maker that Caspa hired in, the KEF hired DWF Labs. Was it January 2024? No, it's 2025. Yeah, 2025. Yeah, but that's the thing. That's true. But if you go into Caspalytics, so I'm loading it up right now, and you look at the address, which is actually already preloaded for me when I type it in, you can see they started buying on the 12th or 14th of March 2024. They've been buying for a long, long time before that partnership with KEF and DWF. So either they bought in really, really early and then spoke to them, or it's somebody else. The reason why everyone said Binance because Binance were integrated with Caspa December 2023. So that's before here as well. That's why people say Binance, because it happened here, but I don't think we had any major market maker around here. You had some big ones here. You did see a big spike around there. Maybe DWF, or maybe it's Wintermute again. We'll find out in due time, I'm sure. Can you do a challenge of ending the stream where Caspa reaches $1? No, because I'll probably be streaming for a very, very long time right now. I can't lie, and my PC cannot handle that. If Caspa gets close to that value, which I hope it can do this cycle, or soon, I'll just say, I might do a case of where I just stay on the stream. If it's like at 99 cents or something like that, I might then just try and stay on stream and see if it just reaches that $1. We'll have to wait and see though. Do you think Caspa Dev know who Wallet 2 is? Good question. I think someone does. Whether it's the devs or whether it's the KEF, I don't know, but I think someone does. Who, I don't know, but I reckon somebody knows who it is. You want asset to Caspa? Thank you for your great work. Thank you very much, Octo Plus Bar. I appreciate it very, very much. And yeah, we're going to keep on going together, all of us. More adoption, more belief in Caspa. Now we are talking in weeks or in a month for Lambo. I mean, hopefully we'll see it in the next few weeks, considering what's happening right now in the next week or so with the hopeful passing of the stablecoin bill and the increasing sentiment behind crypto and whatnot. I'm looking forward to it. That being said, though, that will be it for today's Caspa and crypto live stream. If you enjoyed, as always, leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. To get more locked into crypto, to Caspa, check out the VIP 7-day free trial with your live streams, all the stuff, you know, the good stuff. Equally, you can get a 1-month free trial thanks to our working together BYDFI. So if you sign up through the affiliate link, as you can see on screen right now, and you follow the steps here, you can get permanent VIP access to the BYDFI channels and equally a 1-month free trial to the Coin Factory channel, where you can get all the access to educational videos, weekly live streams, trade alerts and whatnot. All that stuff is all available in there. If you want to find out more again and need help with it, again, reach out to me on Discord and I'll help you out where I can. Have a great day, good evening, good night, people in my family, and I will see you all